Oh God. Oh no. What happened? What happened here? I need a fun, unique, and competitive deck to play in a league and net benefits this week. What am I gonna do? Wait, is it? Oh, thank God. We friggin' got there. I'm Any New Province, and this is Net Benefits, the series where we explore the benefits of net decking in Pauper. This week we're playing Rally Gond Combo, or more specifically the Rally Gond list that Methodical took to a second place finish in the Pauper Challenge this weekend. Rally Gond Combo gets its name from the 2-card Presence of Gond and Midnight Guard combo, but also from the great backup plan of using Rally the Peasants to pump up a bunch of tokens and swing for lethal. Methodical has been successful with Rally Gond before, and actually they did a lot of work to develop this deck in the first place. I'll link down below to the playlist where they played through another challenge with this deck and explained all of their plays. I'll start by explaining the 2-card combo that helps this deck win out of nowhere and in a hurry. First we have Midnight Guard, which costs 2 and a white, it's a 2/3, and it says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, untap Midnight Guard. It goes off infinite with Presence of Gond, which costs 2 and a green, it's an enchantment aura, it enchants a creature, and it says, enchanted creature has, tap, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So you put this on your Midnight Guard who doesn't have summoning sickness, you can tap and make a creature, untap Midnight Guard, tap, make a creature, untap Midnight Guard, and keep going until you have enough tokens to kill your opponent. When you're playing a combo deck, you have to have lots of ways to draw into your pieces on time. That's why we have a good bit of card selection here. First, we have Faithless Looting. It costs 1 red, and it says, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. It has flashback for 2 and a red, which means you can pay 2 and a red, exile this card, and cast it again from your graveyard. There's also a full playset of Commune with the Gods to keep those cards flowing. This is particularly good in this deck because it searches for the right card types. Commune with the Gods costs 1 and a green, it's a sorcery, and it says, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature or enchantment card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. Pauper is known for its massive repertoire of powerful interaction. That means if we want to stick a Midnight Guard and protect it for a turn, we're going to need cards to do that. First, we have Benevolent Bodyguard. It costs 1 white, it's a 1/1, and it says, sacrifice Benevolent Bodyguard. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Hopefully this will buy us just enough time to slap a Presence of Gond on Midnight Guard and go to town. We're also running Prismatic Strands, which is a really good protection card and a nice little bit of value to boot. It costs 2 and a white, and it says, prevent all damage that sources of the color of your choice would deal this turn. It also has flashback, which means you can cast it back out of your graveyard by tapping an untapped white creature you control. We've got lots of those. The word rally in Rally Gond's name comes from its great backup plan. It starts with Rally the Peasants, which costs 2 and a white, it's an instant, and it says, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. It has flashback, 2 and a red, which means we can cast it again, give our creatures another +2/+0. That's +4/+0 for 6 mana, and if our opponent spends the early game trying to disrupt our combo, we can just win it out of nowhere with this instead. Using Rally the Peasants to give creatures +4/+0 in a pinch is pretty good even if you only have a couple creatures on board. If you're going wide, it can straight up end games. That's why we're running cards like Battle Screech. It costs 2 white, and it says, create 2 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying. It also has flashback. You can flash it back by tapping 3 untapped white creatures you control. Our other token producer is Sen's Enlistment. Sen's Enlistment costs 3 and a white, it's a sorcery, and it says, create 2 1/1 white Kitkin soldier creature tokens. It has Retrace, which is another graveyard mechanic, but you pay for it a bit differently. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to paying its other costs. It's great that all of our token producers have graveyard synergies. We can pitch them or filter them in the early game with Faithless Looting and Commune with the Gods. Then, if we can't get our combo to go off, we can just rely on our graveyard to keep eking out value and kill our opponent with an Anthem. This deck is very low on interaction. As a matter of fact, it doesn't really reach out and kill any of its opponent's creatures at all. That's why we have other ways to stay alive like Prismatic Strands and 8 Soul Sisters. 4 of the Soul Sisters are Soul's Attendant. They cost 1 white, they're a 1/1, and they say, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life, and I don't think you would ever want to say no to this. We also have a Soul Warden, which costs 1 white, it's a 1/1, and it says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Functionally the same, but you have to gain a life every time. Alright, let's have a look at this mana base. First, we have Blossoming Sands, just standard Pauper duels. They enter the battlefield tapped. When they enter the battlefield, they gain you a life, and when they become untapped, you can tap them for green or white. We have one Boros Garrison, enters the battlefield tapped, makes us return a land we control that's already on the battlefield to our hand, which isn't a huge cost because we're running lands like Crumbling Vestige. Crumbling Vestige enters the battlefield tapped, but when it enters the battlefield, it adds any color of mana to our mana pool. That's one-shot mana fixing that we can return to our hand with Boros Garrison, and I think these two Crumbling Vestiges are quite cool here. We also have 3 Ash Barrens. They enter the battlefield untapped and add colorless, but if they're still in your hand, you can use them for basic land cycling, which means you pay 1, you discard this card, you can search your library for any basic land card. We have an Evolving Wilds. It enters the battlefield untapped. You can tap and sacrifice Evolving Wilds to search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. We have 2 Colony Gardens for creating tokens, bit of Edict fodder maybe for our Midnight Guards. We have 2 more Karus, but these ones are in green and white, so they enter tapped, bounce the land back to our hand. We have some Survivors Encampments, which tap for colorless, but you can also tap an untapped creature you control and Survivors Encampment to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Tapping a creature isn't a huge cost because we have token producers. Finally, we are running 3 Windscarred Crags, standard Pauper duels in red and white. They enter tapped, they gain you a life, and when they become untapped, they add red or white. For basic lands, we're running 1 forest, 1 mountain, and 3 plains. Pretty sparse on the basics, but Crumbling Vestige can add a colored mana when it enters the battlefield, so it's kind of like an untapped land, I guess. You can't tutor it with Ash Barrens or Evolving Wilds, though, so we'll have to see how this goes. Okay, let's have a look at our sideboard. First, we have 2 standard bearers for picking up all of our opponent's pump spells and auras. We have 2 Electrickeries if our opponents are on all X1s as well. We have 2 Pyroblasts for those blue matchups, try to force through our combo through counterspell. We have a Flaring Pain so that our opponent can't Moments Piece us when we're trying to kill them with infinite tokens. We have 3 Spider Silk Armors to bring in against those Electrickery matchups or Delver matchups so our tokens can reach up and grab those Delvers out of the air. We have 2 Oblivion Rings for dealing with pesky permanents. Sometimes you can bring this in against Tron, get rid of an Expedition map. We have a couple of Last Breaths, which are really cool. They say, exile target creature with power 2 or less. Its controller gains 4 life. This kills Kiln Fiend, this kills Tireless Tribe, this kills Spire Golem. It's just a really versatile card. It's super cool. I like it a lot. We also have a Journey to Nowhere, which is another catch-all removal spell. When it enters the battlefield, you exile a creature, and when it leaves the battlefield, your opponent gets that creature back, but we're really hoping it never leaves the battlefield. And there it is, Rally Gond by Methonical. We're going to take this deck live into a league at twitch.tv/AnyNewProvince. We're there every Monday night at 7 p.m. Atlantic time playing competitive Pauper decks. Before I go, I just want to remind you that you can like the video or subscribe to the channel down below. I'd seriously appreciate it. It's a great way to let me know you've enjoyed everything, and it really encourages me to keep making great Pauper content. I hope you enjoyed this deck tech, and hopefully I'll see you on Monday night.